What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys a video talking about the new Heroes of the Storm balance update. I have not read this yet. It just came out. Today's December 5th. So we're going to go over this together. I'm going to talk about things that I like and dislike, and yep, that's basically how this is going to work. And the first one is something that we talked about and I actually just mentioned on Town Hall Heroes, and that was Falstad's Z. I knew that they were going to start targeting Z instead of Gust. So this is their first iteration, it looks like, of the Falstad nerf. They might still hit Gust, and it's kind of scary to think about because it's been hit so many times, but cooldown increased from 45 to 55 seconds, so you can't rotate as much, as quickly as you used to be able to. So this is going to hurt Falstad a lot. And then the Z got buffed. Now reduces flight cooldown to 30 seconds. Okay, no, so it got nerfed. So the flight, I think, used to be 20 or 15, and now it's a flat 30, so I think that's also a nerf as well. So they are targeting Falstad's Z talent, and I do think that's a good place to start with him, but it's unfortunate that they're nerfing Hero's power levels rather than just buffing others, right? Meanwhile, we have this random Gul'dan, a Reign of Destruction, cast range increase. So, you know, the way I look at this talent is it's a lot like Ravenous Spirit, and the fact that, like, if you get a good location and channel it well, then you will do a lot of damage, but this one's RNG based, so not really a big deal. Calamity now only deals damage to heroic targets. Yeah, rip Leming. So I still think we'll probably see Calamity taken at 7. But like part of the reason that she was so strong is like I would take Leming into Zul on Blackhearts and double soak against him. And I don't think you're gonna be able to do that now, so but I do think you still will take Calamity. Maybe not. I just don't see orb build being a thing ever. And I've always hated Seeker, but a lot of people make Seeker work. So I mean, Li Ming will still be good, but this is a big hit. This is like if Li Ming had 100% like power bar, like we're taking away at least 30% of it. So Samuro, so just Samuro nerfs. Cooldown increased on his Windwalk. Damage reduced on his Bladestorm. Damage reduced on his crit. Okay, Samuro's rip. It's not like anyone plays that hero anyways. Ooh, Zeratul nerf. Cooldown reduction upon quest completion increased from 0.75 to 1. Okay. Grim Task. Ability power gained from 4 to 5. Maximum 50. They nerfed Mending Strikes by 5%. And Q damage by... they buffed the Q damage. So they literally didn't nerf him. They buffed him. Wow. Okay. We're happy overall with how Zeratul came out with his talent revamp. We are making some adjustments to make his talent pick and win rates more competitive. It's funny because they say that, but the reason his win rate and stuff is low is because people are bad at him. Like, not because the hero is bad. So they're buffing the hero, making him stronger for better players, which is kind of insane. We could say the Gathering talent taken against Vikings. Who knows? Alright, so these are... I want to say these are going to be buffs, but they're going to be nerfs to some things and buffs to others. I hope. So, Q, mana cost reduced. Slow increased. So that's a good... I like buffing the Q. I think that it needs to have more interaction. Cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 on parry. So, parry's buffed. Heroic Strike, bonus damage changed from physical to spell. So that's really neat. So like now he'll just destroy Illidan's even harder. No longer heals from second wind and now benefits from ability power. Okay, so that is a nerf. So a lot of the time with that ability was like you were critting and every Heroic Strike was healing you for a lot. So that is a nerf. But a buff in its own sense. Taunt. They increased the health you get by another 10%, and So we might start seeing a taunt variant now, especially with spell power. It also, the fact that it scales off ability power means the Dalaran banner one-shot build could be stronger. Slow increase from 40 to 50, so now Lion's Maw at level 1, that talent that once you hit a bunch of Qs, you get more slow. I think that will be picked more now, possibly. Or the parry crit because of the ability to scale off of ability power. They've nerfed Warbringer by 2 seconds. They just needed to reduce the cooldown, but just not make it a stun. Live by the Sword. This is the one that makes your parry last longer. And if you parry an attack, you get a cooldown. So it's buffed the duration in which you can parry. But your cooldown from your additional parry is less, right? It goes from 3 to 2. And then Vigilance, which is the taunt level 10 at 20. Cooldown reduced from 0.75 to 1 second. So they thought that 1 second was too insane. These are all BlizzCon things. Like at BlizzCon, when I played this hero, this Warbringer was 10 seconds, not 8. And this heroic basic attack was 0.75, not 1. So it's interesting that they withdrew and went back on that. Okay, so Spider's speed increased by 20%. So it could make, I have to try it, but it could make Nazeebo good. If he throws his Q and it's faster, it's good. It's so hard to hit that talent right now, or that ability. That's why a lot of the reason people don't play Nazeebo is because of this ability. Because it's difficult to hit it, a lot of time you use it to follow up rather than just raw throw it at the other person. So that's good. Bonus huge with toadness. Bonus hop. So they buffed the hop percentage and they buffed the max percentage. So toads of hugeness, they're trying to make us take that over. I think that's the zombie wall talent at 7. So that's gonna be hard to take. We'll have to test that out though. Soul Harvest ability power and health bonus increase from 4 to 5 for each enemy hit. So you can get 25 AP. It's like a AoE soul suck thing around you. The Corpse Spider is the biggest one for me. I doubt we'll take Toads of Huge instead of the zombie wall though. So they're nerfing Brightwing Z too. So I hope they nerf Dahaka Z and they just hit all the globals. This is a big deal, but not so much because Brightwing obviously has that level 1 talent, but this is a big deal because she's not going to be able to just be like, oh, I team fought. Okay, I'm going to rotate now. But she still is because of the level 1 talent. She still can fly in, fight, heal up her team a lot, get a decreased cooldown on it, walk away back to another lane, and then if the team refights, then she's got Z back up because she's procced her level 1 so much. So that's still good though. Karazeeb buff on his raw W. So his bonus movement speed is increased to 15% on just raw W, no talents. Nerfed Iron Fist, nerfed Earth Ally. Buffed his 7 talent. There's no reason to take that talent now though, because you're already giving 15%. No, we might see it in heal builds. I actually think this 30% move speed for your whole team is mount speed. So we might start seeing this in support monk solo. Nubarak base health increased by 100 health. They gave him an extra 0.2 health regen. That's insane, dude. A Nubarak tier 1, tier S. Diablo basic attack received the responsiveness. Who cares? Fleabag cooldown reduction increased from 3 to 6. Fleabag's actually insane. I think that talent is really insane. It's his relentless now. Every time you get stunned, you get a decreased cooldown on your spell. So you'll be able to eat multiple times a team fight with this. I thought it was good before. Now it's 6 seconds. This is actually an insane buff for Stitches. We'll see if people start taking that talent now, though. They nerfed Sanctification by increasing its cooldown. See, this is what I'm talking about. Don't hit talents that are powerful. Just increase other talents. Make other talents more powerful. Buff Judgment. Make Judgment a talent that Tyrells should think about taking. Don't nerf Sanctification out of existence. It's like Sunder right now with Thrall and Earthquake. The reason that people don't take Sunder is because it's horrible. They just nerfed it out of existence. If they had just made Earthquake strong and then had Sunder be strong, like, we'd have to think about the talents that we want to take on the hero, not just force us onto a talent, which is what they do, these nerfs and buffs to ults. But other than that, yeah, I mean, big hits, I'd say the biggest hit is the Calamity build on Li Ming. That's disgusting. The Sanctification change is fairly bad. Zebo could have gotten a buff. We don't know. I have to try him. Varian, not really much changed. Zeratul got buffed. And then nerf to Falstad. I'd say the biggest hit is this Li Ming, though. The Falstad one's pretty big, too, but the Li Ming one is disgusting. That's like all over wave clear. I don't know. But that's going to be it for this patch video. We'll have to try out a lot of this stuff. I really want to try this in the Zebo change, and then like full support Karazim with level 7. I think those are the two. Oh yeah, CC on Stitches. This is a big one too. It's actually a really big one. So those are the things that I want to try for this patch, and hopefully we'll be able to try those on stream tonight. So I realized that there's actually a lot more patch notes than the original video, so I just tagged this video on the end of that one. This is like the PTR notes for the actual PTR patch. The other is like an update on the live server, I'm pretty sure, that we went over before. But we'll talk about this one now. There's a new quest. The most important thing here is that the Season 3 updates happen, and Hero League, you can no longer queue in Hero League with parties. And Team League now is basically 2, 3, 5-man parties. So it's essentially forcing people to play with people that are paired up. Meanwhile, all the players that want to just play by themselves will be able to do that. And I think that's a really nice change. It's a good quality of life, because people still want to queue rank together, and they're going to be able to do that. And with 2, 3 parties, you'll be able to put like a 3 and a 2 together, or you know, I guess that's basically the only way you could do it. Which is nice though, because again, you'll have a couple people grouped up, rather than in Hero League now it's like two duos versus all solos, or something like that, right? And then the odds are just not there. But I do like this change. This is a really nice update. They're gonna give away our Season 2 rewards, which is nice. I need to level up some more of my accounts to make sure I get those rewards. And then we talk about Rag in the video. I don't even know this Haunted Mines, like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Haunted Mines will periodically open with the undead army underneath. Destroy the undead and collect their skulls. After the undead have been defeated, a golem will rise for each team and travel down the lane. So, I don't really... Okay. So this is a big one. When the golems spawn, they have a fixed position, but they swap lanes each time. So that's really nice. It's kind of like Infernal Shrines. Or, no, not Infernal Shrines, Battlefield for Eternity. I have to see the map. I don't really know. Like, I think they redid the map, so I can't really go into detail about that. Artanis, the Haka Diablo all got visual updates. Kel'Thas Pyroblast received animation, and Particle Grenade. A couple new bundles. Fall Champion mount. So we'll have the Ballistic mount soon. They're bringing back the Blackheart doubloon. I still wish that they would give us more things to buy with gold. Okay, cool. So we can look at the leaderboard now with in-game client. That's pretty sweet. Penalties for leaving. So it doesn't look like you can get rid of leaver queue anymore. The tab at any point during the MVP and commendation sequence to view in-game score screen for the match. A skip button has replaced the exit button on the MVP screen. Clicking skip will immediately take the player to the commendation screen. Okay, that's nice. They can still vote for MVP instead of just leaving before the thing's even decided. Unrevealable heroes. They will no longer show a shimmer like other stealth heroes. There's a time between when the hero goes invis and can be broken. Maybe that's for Samro. So healing fountains and brawls are now invulnerable. That's perfect. You don't have that cheese anymore. Zerg spawn increased from 3 to 6 on Braxis, which is going to make the early game even stronger. And then Warhead's nuke damage got nerfed, but it still scales every minute. So, like, basically at 18 is not going to have a huge jump, and it'll be stronger in the mid game. So maybe holding nukes might be a strategy. I know Chromie, this is the reason I learned about this, is because someone asked me about this. Increased the level reduction of talents from 1 to 2 levels, which is kind of insane. Getting like level 10 at level 8 is a big deal on a lot of maps. Like Curse Hollow is a good example, right? If you get your 10 before that third trib, which usually isn't going to happen. Most teams don't get level 10 before third trip, depending on how the game's gone. Being able to have your level 10 ability in a team fight there could be good. I don't know if that's going to like push Chromie to be like a god pick, but it will help a lot. Time Walker's Pursuit. You can now activate this talent to reveal an area. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, given a little Clairvoyance talent, level 1. Peer into the future, I think, was the Clairvoyance talent. So Pyroblast cast time reduced and cast range increased. So this is actually a buff. Like, we might actually see Pyro. That makes me really sad, actually. But yeah, this makes Pyro castable. I think a lot of the time right now with Pyro is you try to cast it and it just gets canceled. But 30% increase on range is kind of insane. Like, just if you look at my mouse alone, like, if we take, like, this Kel'Thas image, like, 30% is, like, you know, this is, like, an extra, I don't even know, like, this is such a terrible comparison, but we're talking about, like, being able to ult someone from top keep on Towers of Doom while they're channeling top right tribute, right? Or shrine, or whatever you want to call it. Like, being able to ult them from your building while they're channeling. Like, that's an insane amount of range. And doing it safely, like, the other team's gonna have a hard time canceling that. But is KT good enough to pick? I'm not sure. Support Ariel. Crown visual effects now can be seen by allies. That should have been done the day that the hero came out. So here's the Rhaegar buffs that everyone wants to talk about. They buffed his attack damage to 120. Holy moly. That's actually insane. Extra 20 damage. Lightning shield buff, 6 damage per second. Bloodlust. Affected allies now heal for 30% of their basic attack during Bloodlust. That's also Rhaegar. Wow, that's insane. Stormcaller now returns mana from hitting all enemies, not just heroes. I don't think that will take Stormcaller. Totemic Projection. Added function. Now also increase the duration of Earthbind Totem from 8 to 12 seconds. I don't think that really matters. Most of the time you drop Totem and like that's that, but it could be good, like, because with Earthbound or Totemic Projection, like, you can throw the totem and then replace the totem. So if you take like the level 1 range and like, I think health, I think is what that level 1 talent does. If you take that, place it once, run them down, replace it in front of them, it actually could be cute. Like, but not having cleanse is terrible, so that doesn't really do it as much for me. Okay, so this Gladiator War Shout increases healing, so we don't really care about that. Storm Shield's still better, but we do care about the fact that we now get 30% lifesteal on our first Bloodlust. Secondary healing effect increased from 25 to 50 of Ancestral Healing. I still just don't think that this before was like a Storm Shield worth of health, and now it's actually sizable, but stacking up in a game where it's all about like, you know, you like don't want to stack up at all, right? So the effectiveness of that is just not that good, I think. But this is insane. That 20% damage, like Rhaegar's gonna be able to 1v1 everybody, and having bonus damage on shield is also insane. And then Bloodlust might be a real thing, which is kind of sad. And Solid Jake's probably really happy right now, but I could see it being really strong. Artanis. So it added functionality of Q. Now reduces the cooldown of shield reload by 1 second per hit and 2 seconds per hit. What? Okay, well, Artanis is tier 1, boys. I don't even need to read anything else. Like, I'm going to continue to read, but good lord. That's insane. Okay, Twin Blade's charge range is now checked against the edge of target units instead of their center. This increases the effectiveness of the range and generally create more consistent behavior. Okay, so that's really good too. Like, a lot of the time you'll be like, the circle's on the person, why am I not charging? And now they fix that. So this is, the Phased Prism is what I think is going to be insane about this hero, is like, you can now cast this while you blade dash. So you can go all the way to the end of your dash, and then while you're flying back, throw your E, and catch the person, then swap them all the way back into your team. Or you can Q through them, right? And then, you can Q through like their front line, and then once you get past them, you can E to their back line, and then their back line swaps with you. There's like a ton of different ways. You can basically stick on a target. So there's tons of different ways to use this, but this is gonna, I honestly think this will push Artanis to tier 1. He will be tier 1, if not tier S after this. Cooldown increased from 20 to 24 seconds. Activation threshold increased from 50 to 75 health. Shield value reduced from 449 to 360. So you start getting shields at 75% health now? Oh my goodness. Oh god. What have they... This is awesome. Why am I even sad? This is awesome. They're making heroes overpowered. This is perfect. This is what we need. We need more overpowered heroes. Yeah, so I don't... Like, I'll continue, but... I mean, they nerfed the shield value, but I don't think we care. Shield Surge. Trait moved from level 16 to level 4. Shield Overload shield amount is increased by 8% while you're below. So we don't really care about that. We don't care about the speed Q. Redesign Shield Overload's cooldown recharges 50% faster while its shield is active. So Shield Battery is Shield Overload charges 50% faster while the shield is active, and increases the duration of Shield Overload from 6 to 7. This talent could be good. It's a level 4 talent. Looks like a lot of the level 4 talents got messed around, but this is what we're probably going to go now. Increases the cooldown reduction of hitting heroes with Blade Dash from 2 to 4. And now it's a 4 talent, so at level 7 you'll be able to take Chrono Surge, which is the attack speed on E. And I think E build will be really strong now with this new patch and be able to swap a lot more. Templar Zeal is a Q talent moved from level 4. Oh, that's going to be, I think, the damage on Q. But I still think we'll take the double swap there, right? And now we have Burning Rage passive, which is now Burning Plasma. While your shield is active, you deal 50% Burning Rage. It's actually pretty good, but you give up the 2 W talents, which is like Titan Killer or Zealot Charge. I think both are way better, but this hero is going to be insane. Like, he shields at 75% now. Big problem was that he shielded at 50. You can swap during Q. Your shield overload gets decreased cooldown on Q for enemies. Just enemies, and then 2 per hit of hero. His W is going to work better now. Like, I don't know. Yeah, he'll destroy lower rankings for sure. Like, he will destroy lower rankings, but he will also destroy higher rankings. The hero is actually insane. So we have Dahaka next, Brush Stalker. Cooldown increased from 40 to 50 seconds. It's good because they did that with everyone else, but you now gain 15% movement speed while in a bush and for 1 second after exiting a bush. So they built that 13 talent into his kit, which is nice. Burrow. You can cancel Burrow. This was huge. So I really thought they were going to add that, but it looks like they just buffed everything. They're just like, Dahaka, here's more buffs. It's just kind of scary. Adaption. Heal amount increased from 60 to 100. Okay, 100% of the damage you take? What in the... Blizzard is just buffing things out of their mind. Dahaka's never going to die. He's never going to die. That's insane. That's like... Oh, I don't know. That's awesome. Level 1, Enduring Swarm. New functionality. Dahaka takes 40 less damage from abilities while Dark Swarm. So he's got permanent spell shield. Seems pretty good. Enhanced agility. New functionality. Quest. For every 50 essence you collect, you get bonus move speed by 1%. So you can get up to 10% movement speed after you've collected. Nah. I don't know. I don't know about that. I need to read the actual talent game. Lurker Strain. Functionality added. Emerging from burrow knocks away enemies and slows their move speed
for 2 seconds. This is actually going to be really good now. Like, this talent will be good. You might take this talent, actually, because when you burrow, you can just immediately pop back up, and it's another form of CC. It also guarantees you can hit tongue this way. Like, it's like Murden, right? Like Murden Thunderclap. You would Z behind them, you get your bonus move speed because they just gave it base, and then you knock them up, and then you tongue them. And then you hit adaptation and heal for 7,000 health. So... looking at level 13, we have Swift Pursuit. Bush Stalker's movement speed duration after leaving a bush is increased from 1 to 3 seconds. So you have 15% move speed 3 seconds after you walk out of the brush. I don't think that's necessary, really. New functionality of Ferocious Stalker. This is the increased burst move speed when you just dig, right? After using Brush Stalker, increase all damage Dahaka deals by 25% for 10. Okay, just make Dahaka stronger when he engages. That seems fair and balanced. Alright, so I like that actually a lot. Like, they're basically just giving a talent that everybody's already picking on Dahaka a 25% buff to all of his damage. So you basically can one-shot the medic now when you get behind her. Whirling Dervish was removed. I think that was like Spell Shield W. Primal Swarm. Enemies affected by Dark Swarm take 15% increased damage from all sources. So that's your W? But it says new talent E. Affected enemies. I'm not really sure. I think that that's your W though. Yeah. So that is your W. That's the spin, right? So if they're getting hit by spin, they're marked essentially for your team to kill them, which is pretty powerful. 16 rapid regeneration. So I just got tunneling claws. Dahaka can now move while burrowed. I just had a game where I played. Oh gosh, it scared me. I have to edit this out. Thank you, D-Prof. Okay, McAvoy's in the chat for D-Prof. Appreciate it, man. So I just got done playing a game where the Dahaka used this, and I was so thrown off by it. But it is pretty powerful, like being able to E away, because now you can, pair that with your 4 talent where you knock them up. I think this could be really good. And his 16, the tongue range is really powerful, but this could replace that if you can use it effectively. Like I said, pairing it with the knockback slow and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff going on here. And level 20 changes survival. Heal amount increased from 125 to 200%. So up here it said it went from 100, and now here it's saying 125. I'm not really sure if that's a typo, but 200% of your incoming damage when you hit R is actually insane. So that's like, if they hit you for 5,000 damage, you're going to heal for 10,000 health. Like, but they did get rid of Harden, so basic attacks slow, and they basic attacks can grant 5 essence. That's really good. Holy moly. So, the talent, like, where you get a hero kill and you gain 5 or 25 essence, and every time you, like, kill someone, it's like resetting, like Li Ming. This is, you basically get heals every time you auto, so it's kind of like having lifesteal. I really like this. This talent could be really good for, like, second tank Dahaka, right? And I think this patch is definitely Bruiser patch. Okay, so here comes the Diablo change. God, I need to turn that off for just a minute. So here comes the Diablo change. We have Shadow Charge, damage buff functionality. He gains resistance when he charges, and if he collides with terrain, they get bonus damage. No, that's pretty good actually. It's like Poppy Charge if you ever played League of Legends, but you get resistance, which is going to make Diablo harder to kill once he's engaged. So Fire Stomp base damage from 106 to 60. So they actually nerfed the damage of Fire Stomp by 46, but they gave you an additional 90 damage on the back end of it. So you lose 46 on the front end and get 90 on the back. So it's not too bad. It is technically a damage buff, and you don't have to talent towards that talent anymore. So I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but it is going to, this is about bruisers and damage that they deal, and Diablo might be able to do that now. He gets more health per soul stone. That's just a nice little quality of life change. So looking at level 1s, block was removed. New passive, regeneration globes and health globes are 2% more effective. I don't really, that's not really going to help you in a team fight. Overwhelming Force removed. Talent Bulwark. Increases the duration of Shadow Charge resistance from 2 to 5. That's pretty good. A Hardened Shield for 5 seconds. Life Leech. Moved from level 13. I'm not actually sure what Life Leech does. Basic attacks against enemy heroes deal bonus damage equal to 1% of their maximum health and heal Diablo. So it's like a little giant killer heal. It's not too bad. Not too bad for level 1. You know, why not? Level 4, Demonic Strength. Slow duration increase from 2 to 3 seconds. Slow amount from 25 to 30. So nice buff, honestly. 3 second, 30% slow after you ease. Not bad. It's like a Joanna shield smash, essentially. Speed Dimming, passive, new talent. Diablo gains 30% move speed for 5 seconds after being stunned or rooted. So this is like their way of making Diablo like feel like powerful and like, you know, before his Q had made him unstoppable, and now they're like, okay, at level 4 you can get 30% move speed after you're stunned or rooted. The problem with this is like you're still stunned and rooted, which is his problem. If it gave you like a resistance to that, then I would maybe see it, but maybe it is going to be good. It is a passive, like you just get move speed whenever. And like, say you take this against Skullcracker Murden, you're like always going to have bonus move speed because that little mini stun will trigger this. From the Shadows, Q, moved from level 7, also increases Shadow Charge range. So this is... increases the range of Shadow Charge. Enemies knocked against trained are stunned for an additional 0.5. That's really good. I think that's probably what we're going to be taking. You charge further and you get stunned longer, so that's really good. Diabolic Momentum. I was like, Diablo? No. This is his battle momentum, basically. Functionality change. Basic attacks lower Shadow Charge and Overpower. They nerfed this. It used to do all of them, just like Murden. I think they're kind of pushing towards like, we'll let them have the battle momentum, but only for certain abilities. It still will probably be the talent, unless Devastating Charge is OP. Oh no, they moved that to level 13 talent. Functionality, Shadow Charging an enemy into unpathable terrain deals an additional 5% of their health. Every time you charge an enemy into terrain, increase the bonus by 2%. Up to 10%. So you can do 15% of their health every time you charge them. It's really good. That's a lot of burst, honestly. And again, I think Diablo might... it kind of sounds like he's going to become like a tank killer, kind of like Tychus. You take the percent steal, lifesteal at level 1, and then you take this at 7 or 13. Yeah, you take this talent at 13 with Diabolic Momentum at 7. Like, you charge... if you're charging them into walls and stuff, especially with this charge talent at 4, like, you should be slamming tanks around. Each Black Soulstone stack Diablo grants resistance to enemy abilities. So spell shield, basically, on souls. That's not too bad, but you do eat up your souls. Soul Feast. Each Soulstone stacks. There's this health gen on souls, not really good. So they removed Firestorm, they built it in. They got rid of spell shield because they gave it up here. Siphon the Dead. Hellfire. Each enemy hit by Firestorm increases the damage of the next Firestorm by 10%, up to 100%. What? So you can have you should always hit your W because it's just so AoE. The only problem is, like, you would have to hold your W and you'd probably use your W to wave clear. So we're probably going to use Fire Devil. This is the Burning Rage. Also increases Diablo's basic attack by 25%. So you get Burning Rage, they buff the damage on the Burning Rage, and then it makes your auto stronger. Man, Diablo seems like he's insanely strong now. Rampage at W, removed. That's the punch and speed. They give you it in 2 other talents. Continuous Overpower is the double E. So Domination now is lower the cooldown of Overpower by 4, which is your E. Using Overpower refreshes the cooldown of Shadow Charge. So you can Q them, overpower them, Q them. That's so good, dude. I don't know, Diablo seems like he's just gonna bang up these tanks. New talent, Fearful Presence, passive, active, passive. Heroes and summons that attack Diablo have their attack speed, so it's imposing. Activate to reduce the damage dealt by heroes by 30% with a Hardened Shield. So it's a Hardened Shield with imposing built in. That's really nice. They finally got rid of Bolt on Diablo. That was one of his best things. They gave him Hellgate. Activate to teleport a short distance and place a demonic rune at that location. After 1.75 seconds, the rune explodes. dealing... What the... They got rid of Bolt and gave him Bolt. That stuns and deals damage. It's a 1.75 stun. So it's basically APOC when you bolt. Which is crazy because you can just bolt E, slam them, stun. And then if you took APOC, then you can APOC. Alright, I'm gonna go into try mode. And I'm gonna throw a little clip in now of this combo because I have to try it. Oh, wow, that's a 3.25 second lockup. Oh my god. Zarya, particle grenade. The ability has received improvements to its cast, so it's gonna be stronger. Obviously, if they change the cast time, the time between casting, forming, and other actions has been reduced. Yeah, this is just a buff. Particle grenade build was already the build anyways. And that's it. Wow, there's so many cool things. This patch is going to be really neat. I'm actually really excited. But again, I've extended the last video onto this video. So if you guys have watched all the way through this now, thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate the support, guys. You can always throw a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel below. And you can always follow me on Twitch and Twitter, which will both be located in the description as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And you know, let me give feedback on this type of stuff. This is the type of things that I want to improve and make better quality things for the community and for you guys. So if you have any like questions about any of this, let me know. You know, there's a couple of bug fixes here, but that's gonna be it for me, guys. Again, thanks so much for swinging by and enjoying the video, and I'll see you all next video. Cheers.